Hello everyone, my name is Ari, aka the person that runs the channel, and today, as always, I enjoy my- Who the fuck are you?
Who the heck are you?
No, I asked you questions, motherfucker! Who the fuck are you?
No!
You better fucking tell me, or I swear to God, you're the bite that does real fucking soon, bitch!
I'm that guy that you did the podcast with on my channel.
What podcast? What's your name? Who are you?
I'm Zero Chaos, and the podcast not another nerdcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember. Yeah,
I remember. It's so weird because we're on my channel.
Yeah.
And, everybody, Emma joins me all the time, and sorry for screaming there. So, introduce yourself, person?
Okay, so, hi everyone. I am Zero Chaos, and I'm a YouTuber, so a weird one and whatnot. And I run this podcast called Not Another Nerdcast, and we talk about nerd-related stuff and etc., and rant, just anything nerd-related. And you can check it out on my channel, just like I said, Zero Chaos. And the first episode is already up. Trying to upload the second episode and whatnot. But yeah.
So what are we doing today?
Well, we're gonna be talking about the Death Note movie, which was great.
It was such a great movie and an even better adaptation.
I know. Once it uploaded on Netflix, oh my god, I was excited.
Oh my god, it was, yeah, I totally did not feel like banging my head against the wall, especially at the part where L held a public press conference and he was there in person.
Exactly. Especially that one moment when, Misaki or whatever that fucking girl's name was.
Oh, you mean Mia?
Oh, was that her name?
Yeah, Mia.
What?
Her name was Mia? Dude, it was Light Turner and Mia whatever. They have to change the names for an American audience. It's not a Japanese movie.
It was great. It was great.
Look, we'll talk about it when we talk about the movie as an adaptation, alright?
Yeah. It was great. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be a long podcast. Okay, so yes, just as Devin here said, we're talking about the 2017 Netflix movie, Netflix adaptation of Death Note, and we have things to say. But before we get started, just a few ground rules. Number one, the first half of this podcast, we're going to be talking about the movie as a movie. Okay, so we're just going to be judging it on its own merits as a standalone movie. We're going to pretend like Death Note doesn't exist or anything like that. In the second half, we're going to talk about it as an adaptation. And I have a feeling that's going to be the longest part of the podcast because you and I both have choice words.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and we're not going to turn this into a fucking race thing.
Oh my god. I didn't really like the movie because, Al was a black guy. I'm joking, everyone. I'm joking.
Okay, but seriously, to everybody on Twitter that says, haha, this movie sucks because what do you expect from white people? Fuck you!
Exactly. That makes no sense. Anyone can make an adaptation terrible or so. Or good. Either one.
Yeah, just getting up my little bit of salt out of the way because seriously, that I hated anti-Twitter. I hated anti-Twitter all weekend. But, getting salt out of the way, let's just snore and talk about how boring of a movie this was as a movie, not as an adaptation, as a movie. Just to clarify once more.
Oh god.
So, do you want to start or should I start?
You can go.
Okay, let's just get out of the way. The best fucking part about this movie was William fucking Dafoe as Ryuk.
Actually, you know what? I actually have to agree. I didn't even mind Ryuk.
Seriously, hands down, William Dafoe as Ryuk. Whoever thought of that casting, you're a genius. We'll talk about your other casting choices later, but you are a genius for casting William Dafoe as Ryuk.
Exactly, because Ryuk, he didn't annoy me at all. He, of course, still made me laugh at times. It's just, oh my god.
We'll talk about it later.
Alright.
But it's just such a fucking travesty because Ryuk is barely in this movie and I wanted him to be in it more.
Yeah.
Like, he pops up, like, every 20 minutes to half hour or so. Like, I count it. Like, he was there, in the beginning of the movie, and then he just disappears for, like, half an hour. Like, what the fuck? Was William, like, too expensive or something? Because he is great.
Like, the CGI couldn't have been that.
No, like, his design was good. I mean, it was a bit ugly, but it was still pretty fucking cool.
No, like, I mean, I guess what I meant to say is, it couldn't have been that expensive, but who knows? I mean, I'm not, a CGI guy. I don't know how much it always costs, so that's just, my opinion. It didn't even look that expensive. It looked good. Like, nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, like, nothing. I have nothing bad to say about William's performance as Ryuk. I have things to say about Ryuk, but his performance was, oh my god, that was so good. Why wasn't he in this movie more?
Like, that's the actor or the voice actor that did it?
Yeah, he voiced the character, and if you watch the end credits, they'll show, like, behind the scenes footage, and he did do some of the motion capture as well.
Honestly, I should start looking at the end credits. I am sorry for any of the cast.
I skipped past them, but then I saw, like, the behind the scenes footage, so I watched them. Just, like, for that section. That small section.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it, but I just didn't even pay attention to the credits. I barely pay attention. I should have just said, you know what, dude, William, you did a great job in this good movie.
Very good movie. Seriously, if you're gonna watch this movie, just, like, watch all of Ryuk's parts.
Yeah.
The rest of it isn't worth it. Because, let's be honest, this is a boring YA movie.
It really is.
Look, like, a movie with this premise should be much better. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to see a movie about a kid with a notebook that can kill people? But instead he turned it into a boring YA movie with a boring romance, and it's just boring. And Light is like a pussy. Light is a total pussy in this movie. I do not like Light Yagami at all. He's just a dorky emo.
Oh my god. I have so much to say about Light.
Go right on ahead, buddy.
Okay, so Light in this adaptation, I'm trying my hardest, not trying to talk about the real adaptation or so. I'm gonna focus on the movie one, as you said. Okay, so for this movie, Light is a total moron. Like, oh my god. I have never seen a protagonist this dumb ever in a movie. I don't think I have ever seen a protagonist this dumb. Because, of course, first off, we start, not going to try and give, like, try and talk about, like, the first parts or so, but, like, the first part, we get into the school, looking at Light, writing something or whatever, and, of course, looking all emo-ish, staring, being a creep at the girls.
At the cheerleaders?
Yeah, at the cheerleaders. And I'm like, why is he so emo? And at one other part, I think he was about to go back into his house, and Mia was about to was telling him, "Oh, I'm sorry, I love you." And then I'm like, I know you're not this dumb. You're really gonna expect, you're really gonna accept her apology. And once Mia says, "I love you," he just accepts it. I'm like, what?
It's so fucking stupid. Like, they like hook up. Like, at the end of the day, like, the first time they talk to each other, the first day they ever interact with each other. Well, not the first day, but the first day they actually have, like, a conversation with each other. End of the day, they hook up, and it's just like, and this makes them look like horny teenagers, and I do not like this relationship. And then at the end of the movie, like, they're like in a Ferris wheel, about to die, and he's just like, if you love me, you will, like, not take the death note or something, and then she's like, I love you, and he's like, I love you too, and it's just like, you're just gonna immediately forgive everything that she's done to you. Like, she tried to kill you.
She tried to kill him, she tried to kill his father. What?
And it's just like, I love you too, and it's just like, you both are dumb.
Exactly. Like, at that point, I'm like, oh my god. I just want to give up now.
I'm dying because it's so stupid.
Exactly. It like made no sense. Like, first off, I know this is a movie. First off, though, like seriously, no teenagers or so will hook up within a day. That crap doesn't happen in real life. Second, if you're gonna
Unless they're like super fucking horny.
well, yeah, that is.
Like they were in this movie.
Oh god, definitely. That one is definitely true. Second, if a girl that you like tries to kill your parents or just parent in general and says, I love you, would you really accept her back? What? She's. Oh my god.
Like, if you really love me, I love you too. Just like, fuck you both. I hate both of you. You know, the beginning of the movie kind of said Mia is a bitch. Because when you first see her, she's like a cheerleader. She's at the top of the pyramid. And she looks just like so bored and discontent. And it's just like, you're a total bitch, aren't you? And the entire movie, I did not buy that she was a good person at all. Like, when she was dating Light, they were like, oh, she's alright. She's just a normal teenage girl. And it's just like, no, she's a total bitch. And then the end of the movie comes and it's just like, fucking called it. Because this person does not seem like a good person at all. And I will say this. As an adaptation, just like for a bit of the adaptation part, at least she had a fucking personality. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'll get to that later.
I mean, she was, horny for dead stuff, or like, I guess she loved killing. That's her personality or whatever. It's just, it's like, the first part, like how you know you're gonna not like the person. I mean, like Mia, of course, she basically snitched on freaking Light the first day. I'm like, you snitch. Oh god. That didn't make sense at first. Wait, did she say she was just trying to help even though she basically didn't even help at all?
Yeah, pretty much. And, well, she did help with his boners.
Of course.
Because every YA movie has to have fucking.
Exactly, like, if it's like...
PG-13 sex.
Oh god, I don't know. Actually, no. This, oh god.
But can we move on from Mia and talk about how much of a puss Light was?
Yes, definitely.
He's just a dorky emo kid, and he like. Well, the reason why he's using the Death Note and getting back at all these bad guys is because his mom was killed when he was a kid, and now that he has the power to kill all the evil people in the world, like all of the rapists and the criminals and the murderers, he just like, oh, I want to do it so that nobody else will have to go through what I went through because the guy who killed my mom got away with it. And that's honestly a good motivation. But at the same time, we see no development or growth from this kid. Like, at the most, he's using the Death Note not to act out justice, but to impress a girl. That's the impression I get when I look at Light and how he kills all of these people.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Because, he just wasn't doing it like, trying to be a good guy and whatever. He was still basically killing people. Just trying to impress, like, the girl. Of course, his quote-unquote girlfriend. Like, if he didn't kill anyone, of course, Mia was gonna quote-unquote break up with him.
Grow some balls, you bitch!
Exactly! And especially how when he was, like, when he got in the Death Note at first, and, Ryu was about to show up in the classroom, or he showed up, it was going crazy. He was screaming like pussy.
We both sound like super salty, and that's because this is a bad movie. Like, the first half an hour, I was like, this is a boring YA movie, and it's like, that's just it. It's just a boring YA movie. But then as the movie kept going on, and then the ending came, I was just completely done. I was so fucking drained at this movie. Because this movie is just, it makes no sense.
It does.
The last half hour of the movie, I just completely clocked out.
Exactly, because, like, it's not memorable. I'm, like, still trying to, like, remember some stuff. That's how it's not.
The most I remember is William Dafoe and Elle, and we have to talk about Elle in a minute.
Oh, definitely. Actually, yeah, let's go on that.
You want to talk about Elle now?
I mean, if you want to, or...
We can talk about Light some more, if you want.
Yeah, like just a few things I guess left. I just love how he was just trying to, oh god. I'm sorry, I'm having a bad time. It was just not
It's
good.
a bad movie.
It was.
I'm probably gonna leave all of that in just so people can just see what this movie did.
It's not memorable. I can't remember almost like any scene that's good with light or like.
Well, this movie isn't very well written. There are some horrible lines in here, like on the night Light and Mia hook up. He's just like, "Can I kiss you?" And she's just like, "You don't have to ask." And I was just like, "Oh, that is terrible YA novel levels of cringe." Not to mention that it's not a pretty movie to look at. Like, the best looking scene in this movie is when Elle is walking down the hallway in Japan. And yeah, it's just poorly written. No good or memorable lines here. Nobody was clearly up all night drinking coffee after coffee just to write a good line. And the shots, just the directing here, the framing, the shots, it's boring and generic. There's like no inspiration or creativity in any of this movie.
I mean, I can understand that. It definitely felt like that. Like, after watching like another person's review, it kind of, if you think about it, it was kind of a bit good that they brought this over to America because, like, of course we got Light. He's an American. I don't know what the heck Elle is. I think he's American or something, or was he?
Probably.
No. My bad. I keep thinking about the. I keep thinking about the anime adaptation. We're on the freaking movie adaptation. It's a good thing to do, like bring this movie to America because it kind of relates to us. Like what things we would actually do, like if we had the Death Note, basically. Like, of course, there would be some dumb idiots that would, like if they got the Death Note, they would try to impress some girls, which that's just dumb. Honestly, I would have just tried to.
We'll talk about this when we talk about it as an adaptation.
All right. My bad.
I know it's hard, but dude, we have to try and save it.
I'm having a hard time. Okay, I think I'm already done with Light. Let's just go to Elle.
Elle is honestly probably the second best part of this movie. Where do I start with this? Because, okay, the actor who portrays him, I didn't write down his name, my bad, sorry. I can look it up real quick, but the actor who portrays him, he definitely played him weird enough, but at the same time, he could have been a little bit weirder. Not to mention, well, I got to say that for the adaptation, actually. But yeah, he's weird, but he could have been weirder. Like, he gets his mannerisms down. He talks fast. He has this whole thing about sleep. He loves sweets and candy. And, he sits kind of weird and things like that. And he has emotion and sympathy and humanity. But it definitely could have been more weird.
Well, I actually liked him. Just like you said, like he was the second best. I can't remember his name either, but I know he was from that one movie called Get Out or so.
He was? I don't remember.
I think he was from Get Out. I'll check in a minute. But with Elle,
I'll look. I'm looking on IMDb right now.
Okay.
I cannot say this guy's name. I am not going to try. Oh, he was a Get Out.
Yeah, and just like I agree with everything that you said, he was really good. Honestly, I can't say anything bad about him. I have nothing to say, honestly.
Okay, in Get Out, he was the guy Andrew. He was the black guy in the suburbs in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, I never saw Get Out.
The guy who kind of snapped and told the main character that something was really wrong here.
Oh, okay. I need to check out Get Out. But anyways.
Oh, you haven't seen Get Out? Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, I heard it's really good. Friends told me it's really good. But anyways, sorry to change the subject.
Well, getting back on track, because sorry for talking about a good movie.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I can't even think of anything bad. I was trying to think of some things bad. I don't think I even had a problem with Elle in this movie. At all.
Yeah, like, probably my favorite part about Elle in this movie is near the end when he kind of snaps at Light and he's just like, "You're Kara! How could you kill my butler who looked after me my entire life?" And it's just like, oh, he is a bit human, isn't he?
Yeah, because that was basically, I guess you could say, like, his dad or so, and I just love how it was so freaking funny during the part when he showed up out of nowhere. Well, I don't think it was out of nowhere, but he was, I guess, was this during their house, like L, Light and his dad were all having dinner or so, or just chatting. Next thing you know, he was like telling the father, like, your son is Kira. Like, you do know that, right? And then he was just going hard.
He killed his butler.
Exactly. Like, he just did not give a crap. Like, I'm getting sick and tired of your son. He's killing people. Why are you being such a dumbass? You need to understand. Your son is Kira.
Well, I just thought of another problem I had with L in this movie. I didn't write this down. But L is like the world's greatest detective. And he's not written as so. He's not portrayed to be the world's greatest detective. So it's hard to buy that fact about him.
Yeah, I guess I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, like, weird, but not weird enough. And, dude, all the characters in this movie is fucking horrible.
I never had a personal connection with the father. Never had a personal connection with L. Not even freaking Light. Oh no, not with Light. With Mia.
Well, I'm just gonna sum it up. I'm gonna sum it up right here and now. Mia is a bitch. Light is a dorky emo. His father, you're supposed to sympathize with, but you really can't connect or get to know this man at all. L, he's supposed to be believable, but he's not enough. And Ryuk is just Ryuk is a bad guy. Ryuk is the bad guy in this movie. Besides Mia, Ryuk is the bad guy because he tempts Light and other people to use the Death Note. Like, when the second time Light reads the Death Note, there's a message saying, "Don't trust Ryuk. He is not your pet. He is not your friend." So it's like, oh, he's supposed to be the villain, but he's not in this movie as much. So it's like, he's not a good villain, A, and B, you don't really buy the fact that he's supposed to be the villain.
Exactly. Like, I don't think not many people got hints. I mean, if you think about it, he was
killing innocent people, so that was supposed to be like, oh, look, he's bad. Like, that's why we're supposed to think that he's a villain, because he tempts this kid to kill people, and when he doesn't do what he wants, he acts it out for him.
Yeah, like, then he killed Misaki, right? Or, no, what was his name? Like, you know, L's quote-unquote father or so. And
no, that was Mia. Mia did that.
Oh, okay. I swear. I wasn't even paying attention in the middle part. I'm sorry.
Look, I clocked out in like the last half hour as soon as like when Mia was like, "Go get my goddamn book." That was when I clocked out.
That part made me cringe.
Because like Mia's also the bad guy here.
Exactly. She's like pretty much the main protagonist. No, my bad. Not protagonist. I mean antagonist.
Right. It's like, well, that's like the thing. Like, I don't know who's supposed to be like worse, Ryuk or Mia, because Ryuk is bad because he's tempting this kid to kill people. Mia is bad because she wants to steal the Death Note and has the power to kill. She writes Light's name into the notebook, and she's like, "Don't do what I say." Well, she's like, "I'm going to force you to give me the book and give me ownership, and you're gonna die." And because like, I don't care about you anymore, but still at the end of the movie, it's just like, I love you too. And I'm just so confused. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ah!
Like, I mean, if you were to get a hint from Ryuk, the first part is like, you know, after when Light he gave that threat to Ryuk, which was, oh my god, that didn't even make any sense. Why are you even trying to threat Ryuk? He gave that one threat, like, oh, you better not do this, blah blah blah, or I'm gonna write your freaking name in the Death Note. And you could have gotten a hint like that Ryuk is a villain, because he said, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Because not many people even got into, like, after the Y part of his name or so. So I guess that's kind of a little hint or so. I don't know.
I would love to commentate more, but my soul left my body as soon as I screamed. Oh, you want to talk about something else? The fucking Death Note. Dude, okay. So, while watching this movie yesterday on Twitter, I said that the second time Light uses the Death Note, Ryuk tells him all you need is a name and a face. But this is the second time he uses a Death Note. The first time he uses it, Ryu tempts him to just write down Kevin's name into the Death Note. And he does, and Kevin dies. But nobody knows, Light doesn't know, and the audience doesn't know, that in order for the Death Note to work properly, he has to write down a person's name while thinking of their face so that no one else dies. Nobody knows that whoever's name is written into the Death Note, they suffer from a heart attack. And they never say throughout the movie that the person dies in 40 seconds due to a heart attack. And it's just like, dude, you didn't explain the rules here. Nobody knows that the person dies of a heart attack in 40 seconds. Nobody knows that in order for it to work, you have to think of the person's face while writing the name. You don't know it the first time. You kind of know it the second time, but it's not made clear. Nobody knows how this thing works.
Exactly. Like, they didn't even mention, he didn't even write down, get, capacitated by whatever, something. He didn't write down, this person, well, blah, blah, blah. He didn't write down nothing. All he did was just write down the names. That's it. I'm like,
they didn't even say, well, they did show Ryuk munching down on all the apples. But
he didn't even eat the whole thing. What a waste.
Yeah, he didn't eat the entire apple. Like, they didn't even explain why he loved apples, because they say in the anime, like, Shinigami loves apples because to them, apples is like drugs to humans.
What?
And he doesn't even eat the entire apple!
That was just a waste of money. What the heck?
Like, people are gonna see, like, people who don't know what Death Note is gonna see Ryuk eating all of these apples, and they're gonna be like, oh, he must really like apples. But why does he like the apples?
Yeah, like, why is he eating it always? You don't know, you just think he just loves them, that's it.
But you know what? There is a sassy anime fan line from Ryuk when Light is reading the Death Note. He's like, don't trust Ryuk, he's not your pet, he's not your friend. And then Ryuk is like, hey, dumbass. Is pronounced Ryuk. That was fucking incredible. That was the best line in the movie.
That actually made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. That made me laugh a bit. Or get
Let's see. Is there anything fucking else here? Me is a bitch. Ryuk is the bad guy. That's pleasant. The part where Elle attacks Light, that was probably the most entertaining part of the movie.
It was so good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, no, not so. Wait, why am I complimenting? I meant, like, it wasn't so good. It was alright. Or so, like, I kind of like the scene where Elle was, chasing Light.
Well, really quick. I want to talk about how fucking bullshit this ending is. Where do I start? Okay. So, God. I guess I'll start at the part where, so, like, Light tries to kill Elle by using his butler. He writes his butler caretaker's name in the Death Note, and he's like, okay, you have 48 hours to give me Elle's real name, and then you're gonna commit suicide and die. And, of course, that backfires. So when that fails, we get, like, this entire scene with Light and Mia on the Ferris wheel, and Mia dies after the whole I love you too. And Light is in a coma, and when Light wakes up, we see him act out this giant elaborate plan where the Death Note gets passed along between 3 users before ending up back to him. But it doesn't work, and it's heavily implied that Light dies in the end because Elle goes to Light's house, finds the Death Note, understands everything, and he plans. It's heavily implied that Elle killed Light because he's in grieving, and Light did kill the guy that he's known his whole life and has taken care of him. So, like, Elle is, like, crying over the Death Note, and he's, like, laughing as well. And, like, before Light dies and the credit plays, Ryuk is, like, in the shadows, and he's like, I was right. Humans are so interesting. And it's, like, the first time we ever get a classic Death Note line in that movie, and then Ryuk laughs, and Light is like, what the fuck? And then the movie's over, and it's heavily implied that Elle killed Light.
That was even.
And that is the short ending, because I cut out so much shit from that.
That ending was supposed to be the emotional one. It wasn't emotional at all.
It's like suddenly this kid grows balls and he's smart enough to have a plan, because Light had quote unquote had a plan throughout this movie so that he wouldn't get tracked, but his plan was to just use a Japanese name and make everyone in the world think that the killer was Japanese. And L immediately deduces that. And it's just like, what was Light's plan in this movie? How was he going to cover up his trails? How was he not going to get caught? And then we finally see him act out a plan, quote unquote, like big ass gigantic quotation marks. And it's just like, suddenly this kid is smart. Suddenly he has a plan. Suddenly he has a way to throw people off of his trail. But it doesn't fucking matter because he died.
It was like basically a F-U.
Who wrote this movie? They should be fired.
They should. Like, I can't believe Netflix just gave them the thumbs up and said, sure.
Yeah, and apparently the people who worked on this movie, the production team, were fans of Death Note. I don't fucking believe it.
They're not fans. Like, they're not fans. That's a lie. They're fake. Oh, God. They're fake ones. That's just terrible. That's even worse.
I don't know what's worse. The people who say that they're fans of Death Note or the fake geek girls at Marvel.
Don't get me started on that.
Who knows? Maybe we'll do a podcast on that too. My fucking Jawbreakers video got over 50 views in 2 days. Who knows? It's possible.
Yeah. But
what else? What else is there? Can we stop? Can I die now?
I just want to go to the anime part. There's I have so much.
Okay. So in conclusion, this is a shitty, boring YA movie with poor writing and cinematography. You're going to forget most of this movie in a day. So it's just not worth your time. It's just just forget that Death Note exists. You are watching a boring YA movie, okay? That's what this is. Just a really stupid, shitty fucking young adult movie. It sucks, and it's terrible, and it's boring and forgettable, and just forget about it.
Again, yeah, I agree with you. It's it's really forgettable. For crying out loud. I could have wrote down some notes for crying out loud, just like you. But why would I write down notes, waste my time writing down notes for this shitty movie? If I can't remember all of the stuff. It's not memorable at all.
Oh boy, okay, now we get to the long part. Oh boy, where do we start about how much this movie fails as an adaptation? Should we start with it? I guess we should do this in order, I guess.
Okay.
Because there's so much here to talk about. So, the first thing I want to touch upon is Light. In the anime, Light is a pretty good-looking dude, and he's also very smart. In the anime, he gets top grades. He's probably the top student in his country, and he's a young man with a bright future ahead of him. And like I said, he's a good-looking dude. He's very attractive. And when he gets to Death Note, he decides to act out justice, and it's not the same motive as in the movie. If you ask me, I kind of, to this day, I'm kind of still confused why exactly Light wanted to be justice. Because he does see a violent act in front of him, and it does feel like he is kind of sick of this shit, of all the violence and things, especially since his dad is a cop. I don't know, the movie did give him a good motive. But anyway, in the anime, Light is cunning. He is very smart. He has a plan. He's always trying to be 2 steps ahead of L. In the movie, however, Light is a dorky emo, and not to, kind of knock against Nat Wolff, but he's not good looking. Nat is not good looking, and he's a real puss, and it's just you have no reason to sympathize with this kid. There's no reason for you to root for this kid. Now, in the anime, we did root for Light because, well, he was the protagonist, and a lot of us did or didn't agree with him, but we wanted to see him succeed because he had a motive and he had reasons for doing what he was doing. And when L stepped in, it was yeah, we kind of do want to, some of us do want to root for L because L is, for lack of a better term, justice. And to this day, we're still trying to figure out who was right and who was wrong, Light or L, and who was the real justice.
Yeah, because basically, with the anime, thank God, finally, we get to talk about the anime. The anime, just like you said, everything I agree with completely. Because with the anime, even though I was having mixed thoughts, like, not bad ones, but like for the protagonist, I loved Light. He was great. He was just such a good protagonist. We were all rooting for him. We wanted him to win, even though some of us was like, that's not right. You know he's a killer, right? Well, he was still trying to bring justice and all. And he was the protagonist. You didn't want him to die, obviously. And wasn't Death Note in like Shonen Jump?
Yes, it was in Shonen Jump Advance.
Yeah, like pretty much most of the time in Shonen, you don't expect the protagonist to die. Sadly, he dies.
And it was fucking bullshit, but then again, to this day, I still think it's kind of justified.
It's pretty understandable, because he was pretty much turning into he was already becoming a murderer in the beginning.
He already had a god complex.
Yeah, like he was basically making himself feel like he's actually God, or thinking to himself that. And he was already...
If you don't mind, can we kind of say this? Because I want to talk about how Light's death at the end.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, because I just kind of keep it in context and keep the order.
Your video.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I really liked Light. He was good. I mean, in the anime.
Anime Light.
Yeah, anime Light. My bad. Sorry.
Movie Light. Nobody likes Movie Light. I mean, when you can see the difference between Anime Light and Movie Light when they first meet Ryuk. In the anime, Light sees Ryuk and he freaks out a little bit because big ass 8-foot scary demon looking motherfucker in his bedroom. But then he immediately gains his composure and he's like, I've been waiting for you. And it's just like, well, he immediately regains his composure and he's like, I've been waiting for you. And he kind of asks questions like, why me? And I'll get more into that whole why me thing soon. But he's just like, you're not my partner. You're not my friend. I expected you to come, but you're not really going to help me until you have something that is going to be valuable to me. However, in the movie, when Light first sees Ryuk, he just freaks the fuck out.
I mean, in a way, if you think about it, we all kind of, well, some of us would. I mean, a bit. But I don't think we would freak out that big. Like,
but he was just like screaming and crying like a little bitch and hiding under the table. And then when he's still not like, he's still scared. Even after the second time he sees Ryuk. Like the entire time he is like before he just gets like super pissed at Ryuk, the entire time he is scared and threatened by Ryuk.
That was so dramatic, I swear to God. Because, I mean, the second time, or just the first time, we probably just would have been jump scared a bit, like, oh my God. We wouldn't be like screaming, like flailing our arms or whatever, just running like, mommy, mommy. And for the second time, we just would have been used to him. Probably like immediately.
Yeah, and going back to like when I talked about how attractive Light was in the anime, now they won't have time to do this in the movie, but in the anime, Light used his looks to manipulate people, specifically women, for his own game. Like, he killed an FBI agent, and it turns out that FBI agent was married to an ex-FBI agent, and he manipulated that ex-FBI agent for his own gain, and in the end, he made her commit suicide out of grief for her dead husband. That is the kind of motherfucker that Light is. But, now, granted, they won't have time to, like, show how manipulative Light is in the movie, and even then, if they did it, it would have been, like, super out of field and not make sense because Light is a dumbass in the movie. But still, it's, I have words. I have so many things to say. I need to get where is my train of thought? Please come back to me. You talk real quick.
Okay, so, with Light is a smart person. We've already said that. But only for the anime. But for the movie, of course, he's a complete dumbass. You don't, just like you said, you don't see him manipulate. Okay, you pretty much already said the things I wanted to say. Like, what the heck?
This is what happens when you don't write down notes.
Oh my God. Be quiet.
You just want to move on to the Death Note because I have fucking words about this Death Note. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about the Death Note and so many plot holes that never will be filled because in the movie, the Death Note is passed on from user to user. Ryuk says so himself multiple times in the movie, hey, just revoke the ownership, leave it alone for 7 days, and I'll pass it on to someone else. And it's just like, if the Death Note keeps getting passed around, why isn't the world in total fucking chaos? What if there are more Shinigamis out there who are constantly giving the Death Note to more people? Why has the world not ended yet? Okay? Now, in the anime, Light does ask Ryuk, why me? Why did you give me the Death Note? And Ryuk says, oh, I didn't give it to you. You weren't chosen. This was all merely coincidence. You want to know why you found the Death Note? Because I dropped it on purpose. Because nowadays, Shinigami have nothing to do. We don't have a job to do anymore. We basically just sit around and talk and play dice or whatever. I dropped the Death Note because I was bored, and I am just sitting here to just witness you carry out whatever the fuck you want to do. This was all merely a coincidence. But in the movie, Ryuk chooses Light, and it's just like, yeah. Not to mention, just like moving on from that real quick, because I am seriously, God damn it. Anyway, moving on, it's like another thing that the movie changes is it kind of adds a rule or two in here, and the movie doesn't even specify what the Death Note is. It doesn't even show you all of the rules. Like in the anime, you could have sworn that the fucking original creators of Death Note had a lawyer come in and fucking write the rules for the Death Note on it, because that shit is airtight. There is numerous amounts of rules. The main one being the person whosever's name is run into this notebook shall die. But there are like no loopholes. Well, there is a loophole, but there are no holes in here. There is no way in or no way out. This is how this works, and this is how you can use it, you know? But in the movie, it's not specified. It's not clear. And seriously, if the Death Note just keeps getting passed on from person to person by a Shinigami, and why is the world not in chaos? And if there are more Shinigami, why is the world not ended? It makes no sense.
Okay, now that you just brought up, like, not enough, like, Shinigami, that's the part that, like, now I just got reminded. Because in the anime, you already had, like, Misaki, she had her own Shinigami.
You mean Misa?
Oh my god, Misa!
Her name is Misa Amane.
I don't know where the heck I keep getting the Misaki. My bad, everyone. Sorry if I triggered you. But
it is like, they do share like 3 letters.
Yeah. So, my bad for any triggered Death Note hardcore fans. But it's I would have probably been more interested in the movie if it had introduced, you know, the other Shinigamis, because I was like wondering, I kind of forgot about that part. Like in the anime, it was others. If there was like other Shinigamis in the freaking movie, I probably would have been more interested, because you would have gotten, I would have hoped that they would have explained more about the rules, because just like you said, they didn't like basically talk about a lot of them. It was just probably just 1 or 2. That's it. Just like, okay, this is how you do it. Just step 1. Just freaking write the name. That's it. Boom. There. You got it. And I'm like, that's not the only one. Can you just please explain the other rules? Like, just give like a 5-minute like time. You still got more like runtime in this movie. Like, it's not gonna hurt, pal. Like, Jesus Christ.
If there were, you know, if there were more Shinigami in the movie, like I said, the world would be in utter fucking chaos. And in the anime, Misa, I mean, god damn it. I mean, fuck. I mean, shit. I mean, damn. I mean, okay. In the anime, Misa did have her own Shinigami. A Shinigami that later committed suicide because Misa had her own Death Note. And Light manipulated the Shinigami to protect Misa. Because the Shinigami ended up falling in love with her. And like I said, the Shinigami committed suicide just trying to protect Misa. But yeah, there's like an entire fucking world of Shinigami in the anime, which is why I'm just sitting here losing my mind. Like, what if there is more than one? Because every Shinigami has a Death Note. Their job was to write down humans' names in the Death Note in order to kill them. But nowadays, in the modern age, they're not needed anymore. But they still exist, but they're not needed. And And okay, here's another thing. In the anime, whoever touched the Death Note, they were able to see the Shinigami because you didn't have to be the owner of it. You just simply had to touch it. And Light did this. He showed it to the FBI investigators, and they saw Ryuk, and they all freaked the fuck out. However, in the movie, Misa, in the movie, Mia touches the Death Note, and she's like, he's like, Ryuk is here. Like, why can't you? And it's just like, he's like, only the owner of the Death Note can see me. And it's just like, I don't know how to feel about this.
Like, now that you just brought that up, yes. Oh my god. Now, that didn't make any sense, because, like, she had the Death Note, like, many times. Well, not many, but, like...
Well, she touched it, but she didn't own it.
Yeah. But, like, still, she could have just touched it and didn't see Ryuk. Like, what?
I have mixed feelings about that change. Like, on one hand, I'm just like, why the fuck didn't you keep that? That was a perfectly fine and logical, rule to have in the anime. But on the other hand, I'm like, it's its own thing. It's its own movie. Whatever. But at the same time, it's just like, they should have kept it.
Exactly.
Speaking of Misa, thank fucking God Mia had a personality, because I fucking hated Misa in the anime.
You what?
Now, granted, Mia is a total bitch, but at the same time, I would have taken a total bitch over a total dumbass.
What?
I hate Misa.
Oh,
I hate Misa so much. Like, the entire time, this is my impression of Misa throughout the anime. Misa love Light-kun. Misa want to help Light-kun take over the world because Light-kun helped Misa. Light-kun killed the person that murdered Misa's parents. Misa want to suck Light-kun's dick and have millions of children with him. Misa, fuck you.
Okay, let me just, get my gun loaded. I would freaking prefer Misa over freaking Mia. I mean, sure.
Oh, bitch. Okay, guns versus stands. Here we go.
I mean, okay, look. Ever since I was a child, I had a thing for, like, dumb characters. I always liked them. So, it's kind of a reason why I would have probably preferred having a dumb Mia over a dumbass one. I mean a bitch one. But, like, I don't understand. Why would you... There's nothing wrong with Misa.
Yes, there is. Oh my god. Like, here's the thing. When Misa was first introduced in the anime, she had promise. We see her be fucking smart. We see her in disguise, watching Light, and she's like planning how she's going to meet him and how they're going to like work together as partners. And that's what you think of Misa in their first impression of her. She is going to be Light's partner, not the fucking dumb supermodel bitch who just wants to suck his dick.
Friends with benefits.
Yeah, and like, Light doesn't even care about her. Like, their whole quote-unquote romance is entirely one-sided. Light is only using her because he sees how vulnerable she is and how weak she is. And at the end of the anime, Misa commits suicide because Light is dead, and she doesn't want to live in a world without her Light-kun.
But that's normal. That's not dumb. How dare you?
But in the anime, like I said, Mia is a total bitch, but at least she has a fucking personality. Yeah, she's a dumb, popular girl who, like, she only sticks around Light because Light was her oppressor, and they had, like, this whole bullshit romance going on. But hey, like I said, I will take this total bitch, this popular bitch, over this total and complete dumbass from the anime. Because Misa Amane has no fucking personality. No, fuck you!
No, being a bitch isn't a personality. That's just being a douchebag. That's not a personality at all. Being dumb.
She's a total bitch! I know! I don't care!
That's not a personality. That's just a douche thing. Are you understanding this?
I will take a bitch over a dumbass.
So you hate dumbass characters now.
I've never liked dumbass characters.
What is wrong with you? Yeah,
they're dumbasses. Fuck you.
You have to like them. She was kind of basically a comedy relief. If you think about it.
No, oh god. She was just another fucking tool in Light's plan, and she was also a thing for Light to stick his dick into.
No, I'm not talking about Mia, but like Misa, definitely, like, if you're about to have a dumbass character, they're basically a comedy relief. I'm not saying Light is, for Christ's sake. No, he was just a plain dumbass in general. But like Misa, she was a comedy relief. There was nothing wrong with her. She had a personality, because, like, wasn't she, like, some Japanese pop star? No, I mean a model.
She was a model.
Yeah, a model.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she kind of had a personality, well, I guess a life or so, and I guess she wasted it a bit, just a little bit.
Oh, you want to talk about another fucking wasted thing in the movie? Like, in the anime, Misa's popularity was threatening to Light, because once word got out that Misa was dating this attractive young man, the public eye would also be turned on him, so it'd be harder for him to act out being Kira, and that was threatening to him, even though, you know, he did have Misa wrapped around his little finger. However, in the anime, they tried to make Mia popular, but she was only, like, popular in school. Like, she was the head cheerleader. Like, Mother's Basement said it best in one of his videos about the Death Note trailer. They could have made Mia like an internet celebrity. There are tons of e-celebrities. Look at fucking YouTube. We are on YouTube right now. Just look all around you. And you could have kept that, guys. You could have kept Mia's popularity, and you could have made her like an e-celebrity. But then again, if you did, it wouldn't matter because Light Turner is a pussy.
I guess you could have made her an e-celeb. I kind of would have cringed a bit seeing how terrible YouTube is right now. But I guess
YouTube in 2007, by creators for creators. YouTube in 2017, by creators.
Yep. Welcome to England is our city, or England is my city.
England is my city. Oh God, why did you make me? Fuck you.
But anyway.
Damn it, memes.
I mean, I don't really have any thoughts of what other like type of thing that Mia could have done. Honestly, I guess I guess Mother Basement said, like, she could have probably been, like, an e-celeb. I guess that's an understandable and easy thought, I guess. Pretty much would have hoped a better one, but, yeah, that's a understatement, or an understandable one.
Okay, really quick to the listeners, sorry if you hear background noise, and my audio is starting to storm where I am, so there will be thunder. Sorry about that. Can't control the weather, wish I could. To be God. Okay,
No,
let's see.
You as God. No.
If I was God, I would eliminate all of those that I do not agree with, like the normal God.
Oh God. You already got
I don't know.
You already got a Fujoshi or Fujo Hell, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I would much rather be the Queen of Fujo Hell instead.
But,
I would corrupt all of your daughters.
oh my lord!
Like, here you go. So this is how you ship.
Oh, no!
This is how you ship. Oh, by the way, anime knowledge, one of the earliest anime ships in history was actually Light and L from Death Note.
No, that can't be.
Speaking of L.
Oh, I forgot to mention, this was like on the top of my head, and I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. Even though it's a little mini thing, sure, we all shouldn't care, but I'm pretty sure most of the memers care, for Christ's sake. Like,
don't you fucking say it. Don't you fucking say it. I swear to God if you do.
Scene. They didn't freaking out the potato chip scene.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say like the other meme.
What?
No.
What was it?
No. We're not going to fucking start this.
What the heck was it?
We're not going to fucking start this.
Oh, God. I was so mad or upset. They didn't even add the potato chip scene.
Yeah, like, they put the fucking potato chip scene in the live-action Death Note movies from the late 2000s. Why couldn't you do it here? They made eating a potato chip look cool in the Japanese live-action movies. Why couldn't you do it here?
I'm gonna take a potato chip and eat it.
Yeah, but, like, in the live-action movie, you want to know who ate the fucking potato chip?
Who?
L.
What?
L was staring down Light. And they had a pretty threatening conversation, and L was like, I know you, kid, and I don't trust you. And Light turned around, L had a bag of potato chips, and he just ate it. And Light was like, motherfucker. And L was like, I'm onto you, bitch. And it was the coolest fucking shit I have ever seen in my life.
And this was like the Japanese live action one, right? Or
it was the Japanese live action one.
At least Japan can do it better.
Unlike the rest of their anime live action movies, except for Rurouni Kenshin.
Like, I'm not trying to start a race or anything. Like just like we said, or like you said in the beginning, We're not doing the race crap like, oh my god, this guy was terrible because he was white. No, I'm not doing that. It's just, you could have gotten the creators involved. For crying out loud, at least get a little help from them. Like,
speaking of L, this was the worst L in history. Like, remember, adaptation, because I will praise L and in the movie, but adaptation L, holy fucking shit, I wanted to blow my brains out. L does not fucking hold a press conference and be there himself. In the anime, L had a press conference, but he had a criminal pose as him so that he could trick Light. He got him in a trap and it worked. However, in the fucking movie, he fucking flat out holds a press conference. He's there in person and he's like, kill me now, Light. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, I want to die. I want to die. I want to die. I want to die. Killer Queen!
That made no sense! Because I'm like, what type of idiot would go out in public? And like, especially if they're like the world's greatest detective.
The world's greatest detective would never fucking do that.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about like Death Note context. Even fucking Batman would never do that.
He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't. Oh god. That's
like, even when L attacked Light, L would never do that. Like, he would do that if he was like playing him and it was for a trap, but he would never let his emotions get in the way.
Actually, I was just about to mention the fight part, but I don't think he gotten his emotions out. I think it was Light first, right, in the anime.
Wait, what?
Because like, remember that one scene where, of course, L was like, yeah, I don't trust you, so we're gonna handcuff each other.
Yeah! Oh yeah, and that's like the scene that kicked off all the yaoi ships.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, that's how I remember the scene the best.
God dang it!
2006 was a year.
Also, the main part, were you talking about that L thing where he has his whole eyes widen or whatever, smiling?
Yeah, like that's like another thing. Like, movie L is pretty good looking. Anime L, he's weird. He's pale and pasty, and you can clearly tell that this guy doesn't get out much. And I think that's why I didn't think movie L was weird enough, because of how attractive he was. Anime L, with his kind of weird character design, it matches his weird personality, making him the original Moe character.
God, I'm not gonna even say nothing to that part. Moe. Oh.
Hey, there are male Moe characters. Go look at Free.
The only Moe character that's best is freaking what's his name?
Nagisa from Free.
Jesus Christ, my bad for anyone that got triggered easily.
Come on, Keith's animated by KyoAni. They are masters at cute girls doing cute things, and now hot boys taking their shirts off and swimming. Like, what was the last Moe character we got? Fucking Yurio and Yuri on Ice, I guess.
Okay, so you're gonna get pissed off real quick. And the thing that they forgot to add was our boy, Nier.
Why wasn't Nier in this movie? Fuck you, America!
He was the best one.
He was the best part about Death Note. He and Mellow's blonde ass Armin prototype chocolate eating motherfucker. I fucking can't. I'm so sorry.
Mellow, I don't give a fuck about.
The original Armin.
Mellow, I don't give a fuck about at all. The Nier, definitely. You should have added him. I don't even care. Just, you could have squeezed him in, or like as, what you called him? Crap, what's the word? I guess referenced him or something. I don't know.
No, you can't do that, because in the anime, we didn't know Nier existed until after L died, and then we were told that, okay, well, L's gone, we need someone to be his successor. Oh, we have the kid. So you can't do that.
I guess. Yeah, actually.
That and other things that I want to talk about when we talk about this ending. Another thing I want to say about Light and L, there was no rivalry in the movie. And if there was, I didn't fucking buy it.
Actually,
all they had was the cafe scene.
Only felt a little rivalry a little bit.
Yeah, no, but like Death Note, at its core, well, at one of its cores, Death Note is this giant elaborate game of cat and mouse, because the message of Death Note is what is justice, and it carries out this message by pinning justice against justice. Light and L are constantly going after each other, like Light is trying to throw L off his trail, and L is trying to catch Light because L is convinced that Light is Kira. All he needs is one slip up, one scrap of evidence. He even goes as far as to pose as a college student, making things much harder for Light, and so hard that Light revokes ownership of the Death Note in order to find out L's real name and kill him. Because if he does that, then he's going to forget about the Death Note. He's going to forget about being Kira. And it's one of those moments that shows us how much Light has changed as a character. Because when he no longer has the Death Note, he's human again. But when he gets it back, we just see how much of a god complex he has. And for most of the series, it's just tension. It's like, is L going to catch Light, and is Light going to throw off L? Which is why when Light finally kills L and he dies, it's just like a universal gasp. Like, we kind of knew it was coming, but at the same time, we didn't expect for Light to win because they're both on equal footing. In the movie, however, none of that happened. None of that existed. And once again, if you tried, wouldn't buy it because Light Turner is a fucking dumbass.
God.
You know, I'm looking at the runtime for this podcast, and this is, like, when I cut out all of the fucking shit, this is going to be a short-ass podcast. I fucking knew we were going to spend so much time on this podcast. Look, just for context, like, this recording, we are an hour and 15 minutes into this recording. Bet you the final product is going to be so much shorter.
It is. Oh, wow. I need to really notice that at times.
Yep. Anyway.
Honestly, at times... Okay, now thinking about it a little bit, I was trying to... I mean, I guess you could say L was, like, working for the police, but at times it just felt like he was just trying to be his own separate character.
Working for the police? Bitch, L is the police!
Oh, my God. Oh, God. I mean, he is Batman, except without, you know, the million or billionaire part, or whatever.
I am justice!
Oh...
Totally not subtle or anything, you know, that moment in the anime. Anyway, keep talking.
It doesn't even say that part. I think that's what pisses me off.
They did not say that part. I was so disappointed.
They only mentioned one good part, and then you say it was like, humans are interesting, or really interesting. And
that is like the only Death Note line that was in the movie.
That was a disappointment.
And that was at the very end of the movie. That was the last line of the movie.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was just asking myself because, like, I was so confused. Because when I was, like, watching the movie, I mean, sure, I got into the parts, like the part where, L was writing in the notebook. I was just so confused. I'm like, what's going on anymore? This isn't even Death Note. This is just some original movie. Because, I mean, I was just trying to go with an open mind. And after, I think, 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is just an original movie. It's not even Death Note anymore at all.
It really wasn't. You know, we talked about this before the podcast started with Edge of Tomorrow. Like, Edge of Tomorrow was based on a manga called All You Need Is Kill. Yet, that was... I haven't seen the movie, and you haven't seen the movie, but a lot of people praise the movie because it's a movie, and it sets itself off far enough from its original... from the source material, that's what makes it good. Like, it is an adaptation of a manga, but it doesn't feel like it. It's its own thing.
Yeah, because, I've never actually saw it at all. But it's just, isn't only just that in, God, how do you pronounce that goddamn movie? For the series. I'm gonna just say Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah. Aren't those the only good adaptations? Well, of course, also speaking of Dragon Ball Evolution, that's the third. Yeah, that's the. Well, okay, okay, let's just hope for Full Metal Alchemist and JoJo. Those are also gonna be good.
Okay, well, actually, the JoJo movie did come out, and I listened to Wooly from Super Best Friends, and he said that it was okay. but it's only okay if you're a JoJo fan. If you know nothing about JoJo, it is going to be the dumbest fucking shit that you're ever going to see in your life.
People were already confused when they freaking saw it on Toonami, wondering like, what the hell is this? Why is there so many?
Yeah, but like with JoJo, I heard that there's going to be 2 JoJo movies, and the first part was all about the first half of the part 4 with Red Hot Chili Pepper. However, oh god damn it, I deleted my notes.
Oh my god.
This is what happens when you don't write your notes in Google Drive, kids. The one fucking time I do it. But anyway,
No.
I'll be okay without them. But the JoJo movie was in 2 parts, and the first part was the first half of part 4 with Red Hot Chili Pepper, and apparently it ends by panning on a jar of nail clippings. So part 2 was going to be about Kira.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't do that much research. All I just wanted to see was how good was the CGI gonna be. I mean, I did.
Okay, well, actually, somebody did upload a clip of the movie from the beginning where Josuke fights Jotaro because Jotaro made fun of his hair, and you do see CGI of the stands, and I like the colors, but the effects itself is kind of cool but kind of ridiculous.
Okay, on a scale, well, I mean, it is JoJo. It's supposed to be ridiculous. What do you
No, but like the CGI of the stands, it's oh man.
Okay, let me Google it real quick if I can find the image.
The clip is on YouTube. Just look up JoJo Part 4 live action Jotaro versus Josuke, and we're sorry for getting off track for talking about a movie that's probably better than this one.
I'm sorry. We really need to stop doing this.
It's, you know, okay.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was just trying to give you an example, like, especially go on with how you were saying, like, this wasn't a good adoption. Like, how many adoptions have we had of an anime series? Like, is this the second one now?
You mean American?
Yeah, American.
Okay, the one that shall not be named, Ghost in the Shell, Death Note, All You Need Is Kill, and we'll throw The Last Airbender into the mix. I think that's 5 we've had so far. Plus, they're trying to like greenlight an Akira movie. Fuck off, don't do it. And there's also plans for a Cowboy Bebop live action movie. Maybe do it.
Holy crap, Thunder. My bad.
Yeah.
Also, isn't Warner Brothers, or I think it was Warner Brothers or someone else, they're trying to do Naruto.
They did try to do Naruto.
Oh.
Don't do it.
Do it.
Don't fucking do Naruto. Don't fucking do Akira. You could possibly do Cowboy Bebop if done right.
Oh, right, because they were about to do a show, right? Yeah.
A what?
They were going to do a show.
A show of Cowboy Bebop?
Well, either it was a show or a movie. I heard it was going to be a show.
Alright, wait. Of what?
Cowboy Bebop.
Because Cowboy Bebop did get a movie.
Okay, so I think it was also... Sorry about the background. It's going to be Thunder. I think it was going to be... I think I read this on Crunchyroll. It was going to probably be a Cowboy Bebop show or something. Or they were... Hold on. Let me Google it.
There is going to be a live-action One Piece.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't China doing that?
No, they are doing it.
It's not... Oh, I thought it was already out yet.
No, they're planning on doing it. And Oda is on the team. My friend Zenith Will Rule, she has a YouTube channel and she does a series called History of One Piece. She made a video on it. And I agree with her. Like, this One Piece is too big. And the TV show is said to be the most expensive TV show ever made because of all the CGI. And, you know, like, One Piece are constantly going to islands and you're going to need, like, actors and so much CGI. And, you know, even if the show is successful, you're probably not going to make your money back.
You probably aren't. Because, like, just like you said right now, One Piece is, it's going to be expensive. Because, like, I've read the manga, of course. Like,
oh, this article. Yeah. Okay.
But,
yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, that's the one that I was talking about for Cowboy Bebop. But, anyways, like, you already know it's going to be freaking expensive. Like, of course, you already got to do the double fruit parts. I mean, I don't think that has to be CGI. But, like, the powers, of course. Oh, my God.
Yeah, especially, like, with Sanji and his legs.
CGI. That's going to cost you so much.
Wait. Really quick, weren't we talking about Death Note?
Let's go.
Okay. Well, we have a few more things that we can talk about. Yeah. One thing I want to talk about with Death Note is Ryuk. And I tweeted this out, but Ryuk is the villain. And that totally doesn't demean the original message of Death Note at all by having a bad guy. Not just like making Ryuk a bad guy, but just having a bad guy in general. Because here's the thing. In Death Note, Ryuk's role was the witness. He was the narrator. If you watch the Death Note OVAs, Ryuk is clearly telling Light's story. Like, it was pretty clear throughout the entire thing, but in the OVAs, it's just like, yeah, Ryuk is telling Light's story. Because, you know, he dropped the Death Note because he was bored, and he watches Light for fun, really. And he's constantly at Light's side. He's constantly present. He's constantly saying things, but Light just doesn't really listen. In the movie, Ryuk is never there. He's only there, like, 4 or 5 times in the movie? And once again, he's the bad guy. Like, as soon as he's bored, he betrays Light by killing innocent people. And he's like, hey, I'll kill, like, if you want to kill me, people have already tried. My name has 4 letters. People have only gotten 2. And it's just like, you know, this totally doesn't demean the original message of Death Note, a message that we're still trying to figure out the answer to this day, a message that people believe they have the answers to, but even though some of them are similar, they are still different. A message that is so convoluted that no one can agree on, you know, the stance of what is justice. We don't know. What is justice? What is it? Is justice killing all the villains, or is justice killing the villain, killing all the villain? Because, like, Death Note never had a bad guy. If you can say that the bad guys in Death Note were the people dying, the rapists and the murderers, but like I said earlier, you rooted for Light because he was the protagonist, and you could or couldn't have disagreed with him, but still, Light was the hero. He was the anti-hero, and you also, in a way, rooted for L, because maybe you agree with L. Maybe you said, yeah, they should kill Light, but ultimately, it was Light's story, and you rooted for Light, but to this day, we still don't know. What is justice? Like I said, making Ryuk the villain just completely demeans all of that. Just forget about this very smart and compelling game of cat and mouse. Forget about this message that we still do not know the answer to. Hell, maybe even the original creators don't know the answer to the message that they wrote. Just make Ryuk the bad guy. Yeah, okay.
And when you're watching the anime, and you like Light, and I like Light, everyone loves Light. I'm trying to touch on the justice part as well. I mean, just like you said, no one really knows what justice is. I don't think you could get a real good definition.
Answer of what is. Because, you know, human beings, we're constantly changing, and our morals change. Like, 50 years ago, the world was very religious, and America was very religious. Now we're living in a goddess-dying America. We're living in a goddess-dying world. So, of course, our stance, our thoughts, in our politics, in our stance on things like justice is going to change. Who knows? Maybe one day in the future, we're going to stop asking the question, what is justice? Or maybe, just maybe, people are still going to think about that question, and we're still not going to know the answer to it, because we're still changing and evolving and learning as a species.
Well, kind of interesting, I guess.
Well, I have more to say. Do you still want to talk about justice, or should we just jump to the ending? Because, oh my god.
Well, I just wanted to finish the rest of it, but all I had to say was, of course, I mean, I don't think Death Note, thinking about it a little bit right now, I don't think it really had a good person at all. I guess you could say.
Yeah, there was never a hero or a villain in Death Note. Light was the anti-hero, but what is the definition of anti-hero?
Yeah, because
anti-hero.
Yeah, because basically, you can't say Light was a good guy. You're basically rooting for a murderer, for Christ's sake. Like, that makes no sense at all. I mean, I guess the only good person that I could say was, I guess, nearly good, or so, was L and Near.
Yeah, like, Light's story is honestly kind of tragic, and I want to touch on that more when we talk about the ending. But yeah, Light was the hero and the villain, but he was ultimately a guy with a god complex. He was a very promising young man who got his hands on a mighty power, and that power changed him into believing that he was God and that he was justice. But then again, you still root for the guy, don't you?
Exactly. You're rooting for...
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't root for Light, then why the fuck did you get pissed at the end when he died?
Exactly. That makes no sense.
Like, yeah, like completely excuse the fact that he was outsmarted, and the way how he was outsmarted was super fucking dumb. Like, you would still be so angry if Light died at the end, okay?
Yeah. And that's how you know Light had a good personality. He was actually pretty, well, not like good, but like he was an actual good character.
Yeah, like even if he died on good merits, even if the Death Note ending was rewritten and Light died, you would probably be satisfied, but at the same time, you would go, okay, but what if he did win? And you would still feel a little sad that he died because he never finished out his mission.
Yeah.
So,
but
you already talked about the endings.
Yeah, I was about to just ask one question about like the OVAs, like why are people thinking Light was a Shinigami? But we can go to that.
Because it's kind of hinted / implied, and you know, there's like so many theories and things and such. I really cannot explain it because I still don't completely understand myself. Yeah, and the OVA is like, just there's like a line where Ryuka's like, "You were never a god," when he's telling Light's story, and I like I said, I still can't explain it myself.
Yeah, but like for the last part, the ending, yeah, we can go on that now. That's all I just wanted to ask real quick.
Okay, well, the ending of Death Note live action completely changes the ending of the anime. Now, in both endings, Light dies, but in the movie, of course, L lives and he kills Light. When in the anime, Light killed L because he outsmarted him and he was just one step ahead of him, and even though L was like close behind. So I think the ending of the movie also demeans the anime, because here's the thing, although the anime's ending was kind of bullshit because of how they killed Light, it was still justified if you ask me, because Light was too in over his head. He had a god complex, and in the end he just got too impatient. He didn't wait to carry out his plan, and his plan had a flaw that was fatal. So Light outed himself and saying, "I win." He admits that he's Kira in front of the FBI agents and Nier, which ultimately ends up in them killing and defeating Light, because Light thought he won because he thought that, you know, the people that he had in his plan were going to act out what they were going to do. Now, there is a YouTube video talking about what if Light wins and how how Light could have won, and it's very good, and I agree with it. It's basically like he could have used Misa and he could have been more patient and things like this and that. And you really have to watch it because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, you can link it.
Yeah, but in the end, basically Light died because he was impatient and he let his god complex get to him. Now, in the anime, Light does pull like this giant plan that Light would pull. It's basically kind of like the few episodes in Death Note where Light revokes his ownership. That's what his plan is kind of like. But even so, in the end, Light still dies because L was super OC, and he was vengeful and spiteful and jealous and heartbroken, and he kills Light. And I guess L goes on to possess the Death Note or something. I don't know. But I think just giving us a very clear-cut ending in the movie, unlike the anime, it kind of demeans the message of the anime as well.
Yeah, because in the movie, I'm in love with you. He didn't even have a plan. I mean, I guess you can mention like the first part. Of course, he was just, you know, trying to kill my roots and what. Oh God, didn't get it.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Death Note's ending. When Light died, it was kind of justified because he came full circle. He rose to power and he fell at his own expense because he was too impatient and his ego has swelled so much, and that's what got him killed. However, in the movie, it's just like this kid died because he killed this guy's friend. And it's like, you don't learn from it. Because you learn from the Death Note. You learn from the original ending of Death Note. You see just how this guy fell from grace before he even had the chance to act out his plan. It was like, it was part karma is a bitch. It was part this guy fucked up, but it was mostly learn from this and take away what you can. The Death Note movie ending doesn't give you any of that. It's so fucking clear and it's meaningless. It's a pointless, meaningless ending to a movie that throughout the entire run of the film, there wasn't even a point.
It wasn't at all.
Yeah, like, why did Light kill people in the movie? Oh, because his mom died and the guy got away with it and he didn't want anyone else to go through that pain. That's fine, but prove it to us, okay? And you never did. So there was I never got the feeling that there was a point for movie Light to continue to kill people. And why he was so angry when Ryu killed all those good guys. Well, yeah, I kind of did get it. But it didn't matter. None of it mattered. And the ending, it was just a cherry on top of this bland fucking empty ass sundae.
I guess like the main point of like the film, in a way, when you were talking, I was thinking like, of course, just like you just said, not like Light, he was only killing people just because at the ending, it's of course you see L killing Light because you basically kind of killed his father figure in a way. So I guess I don't want to say it's fully the moral of the story, but like it's God, I don't know where I knew where I was going with this, but I just forgot in a second.
Yeah, I get you. But we're like 20 minutes away from hitting the 2-hour mark, and I want to get this out as fast as possible and not have to go through all of Audacity's bullshit.
Yeah, because like I'm already
sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. I already said a lot of stuff that's already...
We both said a lot and we ranted a lot. But if we're going to end this soon, I want to say this. Death Note is a very smart and complex anime. It's an anime that poses questions that we still do not have the answer to. It's an anime with an ending that, although it's unfair to the fans and could have been better written, is still a good ending because it tells us to take something away from it. It doesn't hand feed us. It doesn't fish shit in our face. It says, learn, watch, learn, and if you didn't get it, try again. This movie doesn't do any of that. It has choices and changes, small ones, with great effect. It doesn't have any of the complexity that the original Death Note has. It doesn't have any of the thought that the original Death Note has. It is a meaningless movie. It is a boring YA movie on its own. It is a shit adaptation. It's not worth your time at all. I honestly want to sit down and watch this movie with my mom and have her watch the first 5 episodes of the anime afterwards. And I want her to finish it and I want her to get back to me just so I can see how just like the effect of this movie and how it is compared to the anime to a person who doesn't even like or care about anime, really.
I would do the same.
So,
just wanted to say I would do the same thing, but I don't think I would even want to let my mom get tortured by this terrible movie. This movie is just only for edgy teens.
Oh no, it's torturous to us because of the adaptation part, but as a movie, it's not worth your time at all.
Not. If you're like an edgy teen or whatever growing up, then this movie is for you, in my opinion.
Even Death Note the animated Death Note is too fucking good for edgy teens. You have to, really understand what Death Note is trying to do and say in order to appreciate it. Because there are tons of edgelord teenage 13-year-old boys who watch the original Death Note and they either hate it or they're just like, oh, edge. But you just have to like grow up and mature and watch it again in order to understand what this is and what the creators were trying to go for.
Because I want to say I understood it like a bit because like I think I was either 13, 14, or 15 at the time watching the anime. So I kind of understood it a bit. But, yeah, I think
this movie, seriously, another thing I wish about this movie is, this movie came out at a poor ass time because everybody's turning this fucking movie into a race thing, and that's one thing this movie is going to be remembered for. Just like, oh, whitewashing, oh, white people. Like, can we just remember this movie as a bad movie and not turn it into a race thing? Because I have a feeling that as time goes on, people are still going to be like, oh, white people, until Generation Z really takes over and we're just like, fuck you, millennials. But yeah, it's not a good movie. It's a bland, forgetful movie with very just like terrible fucking lines written by people who are paid to know how people talk. And cinematography that just, it's not interesting to look at. It's a dull experience. But as an adaptation, oh boy. So that's my final thoughts. It's just, this is going to go down as another bad anime adaptation. It's a step back from the step forward that Ghost in the Shell kind of put us towards. And granted, I haven't seen Ghost in the Shell, but from what I've kind of seen and heard from spoilers, I do think Ghost in the Shell is the right step and to adapting an anime, even if it wasn't as smart or as faithful. But this is definitely just taking us 2 steps back from Ghost in the Shell, small step forward. So yeah, just don't watch it. It's a bad movie, completely demeans the complexity of the source material. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I think I've already said what I wanted to say, honestly. I got nothing else, really.
So ready to whore yourself out?
Wait, what? What?
Whore yourself out. Plug yourself.
Plug myself?
With your links!
Oh, my links? Oh, if you guys want to subscribe to me on YouTube, even though I did a terrible job on this review, I apologize. Next time when I do a review, especially with you, I'll definitely try it right out. I just wanted to try out doing a review on the top of my head. It did not work well.
Well, we'll do something else. Like, I kind of want to bring you on my second channel for a podcast.
Oh, definitely. I'm pretty sure that would have been better. I just wanted to help out or whatever.
Yeah, thanks a lot, because Emma was like, can I please watch Little Witch Academia? And I was like, go ahead, because I don't want to subject you to this either. She was so happy when I came to her. I was like, hey, found a victim.
Oh.
Hey, you watched it already.
I know.
You watched it hours before I did.
Exactly.
Anyway, your Twitter and your YouTube channel's name is what?
My channel, of course, just like I said in the beginning, is Zero Chaos. Not like the number 0, but like, okay.
It's spelled out. There will be links.
Yeah, there will be links. And of course, my Twitter, god dang. I need to stop making my name.
Based Chaos.
Like, it's like based 0 on freaking Twitter, but she'll put down a link, or else.
I will put down the links.
So, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, see you again on the second channel.
Definitely.
As for me, my name is Ari. I'm the person who runs this channel. You can subscribe here for more reviews. Emma and I do dub reviews, which are actually getting reformatted. So I'm going to need a little bit more time to work on said reformation before I make more videos on this channel. Then, and I need to wait for Kakegurui to finish because I kind of had words to say about that show. Yes, I am watching it.
Illegally.
You can also follow me on Twitter at callmeariNS. My second channel is also linked down there. I'm making more videos on there. It's kind of like a more nerd-based channel. I've made 2 comic videos so far. I'm also planning on making more anime videos, just kind of laid back and talk about some of my other nerd interests, including anime, but, you know, just kind of talking about it. That's why it's called Talking About Whatever. My anime list is also plugged down there, and yeah, if you want to subscribe there, that'd be great. That's actually gaining a few subscribers now, and there's more podcasts on the second channel that I'm planning out. And you can also subscribe here for more videos. So thanks a lot for listening. We hope we didn't blow your eardrums out or made you rage quit the podcast because, oh boy, this was fun.
Overall, it was kind of a great movie. I
was watching the first 30 minutes of the movie and I was like, oh, the podcast isn't going to be that bad. We're probably not going to scream as much. Got an hour in. Motherfucker, this is going to fucking suck.
It was, but hey guys, overall, it was a great movie. 10 out of 10. I'm joking. Yeah, it was terrible.
Totally not gonna go down in history for the wrong reason.
I mean, it wasn't that type of movie that made me want to blow my brains out. No, not that type. Yeah, it wasn't that far. Yeah, but anyway.
Thanks a lot for listening, guys. Until then, subscribe, And have a good one. I'm out.
Same. Peace.